Hi, my name is Pedro and this is my function. Today I'm going to teach you how to create extrinsic calls on the API. Basically, in the last video, we talked about how to create queries. That is basically to query some data on a blockchain. Now I want to make some changes. I want to make some actions. I want to, in this case, burn friends. That is the token of the gem or die parachain. And I want to get something in return. As you remember, and if you went to the Discord and to the website, you're going to see that depending on the time, you're not going to get anything. So I also want to add a check on our website to see if the user can or cannot and what he will receive in return. So let's go for it. All right, so first things first, I've changed this period here because I went through their code base and I found out that they have a time period enum. I'm going to add it to the description below, and you can always go to their Discord and ask for it. It's always going to be on the description. I changed the period to be morning, night, mid-1 and mid-2, just like the enum. It was evening and afternoon, I think. Anyway, the app is the same, and it's basically a wrapper on top of this fragment because all the rest is only rendered if you don't have an account. So to make an extrinsic, it's basically a function call inside of the block. I'm going to teach you two ways of doing and kind of hacking around your way on building your extrinsics. First, you can ask, of course, or check the documentation of the palette on how to do it. I know, for example, that this one is currencies and then burn friend, and this amount here has to be in a power of 12. It's because it has 12 zeros after the comma differently, because they only handle with integers. They can define really, really small numbers. Anyway, to get a friend, you have to burn them, but I can't do it right now, but I can burn it anyway. So if I go here and burn 10 friend, I'm going to view details and I'm not going to tip. The method is this, currencies.burnFriend, just as you saw there. And the amount, as you can see, is 10 with 12 zeros after that. And then this is the payload that is created by the extrinsic API. I'm going to approve this just to show that I'm just going to burn it. The amount is not going to even be included here, and this is a subscription. It's a very important part of the Polkadot and RPC ecosystem because you can watch and subscribe to connections. In this case, you can see did nothing happen because I just burned it. I sacrificed it. All right, so let's go to our code base. What I want to do is, as you remember, I want to create that 10 with 12 numbers after that. And to do it, I have to install a package. It can be big number or it can be bn.js. Any works. I think that polkadot.js uses bn.js. So I'm going to use it just for the sake. All right, so let's see. Yarn add bn.js. All right, cool. I have it now. And now I have the... I have just to create the amount that I'm going to give. But let's test a little bit first. This runs here after every time that I reload the app. So I'm going to test this here. So const amount is equal to, and by the way, this can be a constant outside. Amount can be a constant. It can be like new bn, and that is 10 dot multiplied by new bn 10 pol, that is elevated to the power of new bn 12. So this is our big number. I mean, when you understand the logic behind big numbers and you deal with them a lot, this is pretty simple. Let me copy this amount and let me put it here for you so you can see what this value is. So console.log amount. You're going to see that this is a object, is a class. It has a bunch of things that I don't understand. But all right, let's see then that you can dot to string this. And when you do that, then you have this. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it has the times. So it's the right number. Let's see now it in action. To burn it and to create the extrinsic, it's very similar to making queries. It's a little bit different. It just has a different parameter. So it's basically handle burn is going to be an async function. And there are some things on extrinsics. First, it has to be signed in like 99% of the cases. And you can check the payload. And this is very good on Talisman because you can check the payload in JSON and see what you're passing. In this case, the API is not going to be auto-completed because to do that, you have to import types and codecs, scale codecs from the parachain. I didn't do that. I can teach you in another video if you want to, and if you add comments below or go to my Discord to ask for it. Anyway, first thing that I had to do is define the amount. So this is the one amount. So if I burn one of these, I am just gonna burn it and it's going to be a success. All right, that's cool. But how do I make the call? It's basically, I'm going to await the API.tx. This is the extrinsic. Then I'm going to make currencies.burn friend. And then here I'm going to pass the amount. All right. First things first, I don't like this syntax. And I think that there are some edge cases that you can add in the case of the API not being available. So now what I'm going to do is if there is no API, I'm going to return, but you could throw an error here, just like I could throw an error here. Actually, here I couldn't because I want to check if it exists. But here I could throw an error because this should only be triggered if I have the API selected. And also, as I want to sign this message, and I'm going to teach you how, I need the selected address. And if I, as you can see, the selected address can be null. Select account can be undefined. So in this case, what I want to do is, if there's no selected account, you shouldn't be here. So I'm going to return only, but you can throw an error. All right. If I create this transaction, and let me create a button here. Let me make this a button that has a on-click event as handle burn. And then here is burn 10 friend. All right, so let's go and then connect. Choose your wallet. I'm going to choose this one and then burn 10 friend. Nothing's going to happen. But why? Well, it's because I just created a transaction. For the extrinsic to run and to actually go to the blockchain and to make changes in things, you have to sign it. And then after you have to send it. But there is one function that does both. So I'm going to use this. So it's basically sign and send. The first parameter, this is a very good typing. The first parameter is actually the selected account. It's the address that you want to use. But then on the second parameter, you have to pass something called signer. But how do you get the signer? Well, the signer is basically, you're gonna get it from the injector object. I'm gonna show you how to get it. It's basically injector. So this is why you need the Web3 injected. So it's gonna await Web3 from address, from extension dApp, and then I'm going to pass the selected address selected account.address, and this injector has the signer on it. So I'm going to pass injector.signer. All right. Here I'm going to make one change that is going to be, I want to check if that's a meta.name, or I'm going to use account.address. So if the account has a name, in the case I've added a name on my account on Talisman, so I can identify it better. And okay, I think that's it. I've passed this amount, I signed it. All right, and then there's the third parameter that I'm going to teach you on the next video. That is to subscribe and watch for when the transaction goes to the blockchain so you can update the UI. All right, so let's click here, burn 10 friend, view details. It's 10 in order of 12. And these are the fees. This is the extrinsic. If I do it right now, I'm just gonna burn it. I'm gonna approve. And as you can see, nothing is going to happen. And by the way, this won't return what you expect. This wouldn't return what you expect. What you expect is something that is after the sign and send. And I'm gonna teach you on the next video that is basically the subscription that you have to make to watch for that transaction to happen. So yeah, I think that now you know how to make an extrinsic call. All right, so now as you can see, we have the extrinsic calling the same function that you see on the GM.die website. And we saw it happening also on the polkadot.js app. And we made it all on our application. It's very cool, but it's missing one part. That is the subscription to the actually change on the chain. To do that, you have to create a subscription and actually listen to the events that are happening. And at some point when it's finalized and it's on the block, we can update the UI showing something. I'm gonna teach you how to do it on the next video, and I'm gonna see you soon. So, all right, bye-bye.